When you think of invasive species in Australia, cane toads, rabbits and foxes probably come to mind. But what about the invasive plants that are destroying our native flora and fauna? Here in southeast Queensland alone, there are around 300 endangered plant species. In all of Australia, that number rises to 1,300. While introduced plant species might appear attractive and harmless, they are aggressive and ruthless to native species, outcompeting them for space and resources. We'll be meeting with a volunteer from a local Habitat Brisbane bush care group, and we'll be discussing the facts of invasive plant species and what the average person can do to help protect our native plants.
Habitat Brisbane, basically you're going in and replacing weed species in natural areas with native plants.
How do invasive plants commonly spread around Australia?
Sort of like in the 70s and 80s, like councils would just sort of plant the known plants and sort of ignore natives. And then from there, they're able to spread through sort of natural means, which is things like birds, bats, sort of feeding on berries, and also, plants that use wind dispersion or water as well. Once their seeds sort of escape your garden, they can turn up anywhere.
What invasive plants would you say people have the most of in their gardens?
One of the main ones I'd say is jacarandas. You often see them, especially in Brisbane.
How can the average person help to preserve Australia's native plants?
When you go to plant plants in your garden, you want to try and choose native ones for that area. And there's an app called Grow Native, which was developed by Griffith and the Queensland government, which shows you what plants you should be planting.
There are many organisations and volunteers that work hard on these environmental issues. With so many efforts being made, how is it that so often they fall on deaf ears? Endangered animals tend to have more recognition for being a serious issue. However, endangered plants seem to be on the contrary. Despite the amount of awareness environmentalists share, many people are blissfully unaware of the state of our native flora.
No, I wasn't.
No.
No, I wasn't aware.
No. No.
No, I don't know. Dandelions?
Saddening.
Sad?
Sad.
Climate issues continue to rise as we lose more and more of our natural country. We go now to the Burnett-Mary Regional Group CEO, Sheila Charlesworth, for a second opinion.
So the Burnett-Mary regional area is one of 54 natural resource management groups in Australia, and we protect the waterways, habitats, flora, endangered species, and the southern part of the Great Barrier Reef. We also are involved with agriculture, horticulture, aquaculture, so it's really protecting the ecosystems, rehabilitating the ecosystems, enabling a more positive approach for farming to actually increase productivity but bring back natural habitat and improve the water quality for our waterways. In the last couple of years, we've had really extensive bushfires, we've had droughts, 4 floods and also a cyclone. So that impacts the region enormously on our flora, fauna and our endangered species. So the fire especially is the worst for the endangered species, but also floods do as well, in particular for our turtle colonies from the rivers and estuaries, freshwater turtles and also turtles along the coast. It is recognised worldwide as one of the best areas, but climate change is having impact on these areas. Most importantly because of the erosion control and the change in temperatures and the extreme weather patterns. This will continue to happen and we need to look at what ways we can perform resilient programs which will reduce the impacts and assist the fauna flora to cope with the changing climates. And we have to enable people to understand, educate them and build their capacity to be involved. And our next generation of our young people, it's extremely important that they have a clear pathway to what they can actually do to improve the natural habitat and protect our beautiful region.
Native plants are struggling to survive, while more species are added to the endangered list every year. Without biodiversity, soil loses its nutrients, natural waterways become unfiltered, and local food sources diminish. Not only would the extinction of species affect ecosystems, they would also be detrimental to our agriculture. There are ways that everyone can help. Involving yourself with local environmental groups or participating in these events is also beneficial to the community and makes a difference in their projects. It's time to learn the effects of losing our native vegetation. Our native animals and our land will suffer if these efforts fail, along with our agriculture. It's worth it to preserve Australia's heritage and its natural beauty.